You are watching video marketing, properly capture projects for company branding with Brian Javelin from My Online Toolbox. Brian?
Said it great. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. My name is Brian Javelin, and I'm president of My Online Toolbox. And we have an objective as a business, which is specifically marketing to help you attract ideal clients. And we have to always amplify the word ideal because too many people inadvertently think of marketing as lead generation. I want to do a very, very fast introduction to who I am. I'm known as more of a brand ambassador, in addition to being a marketing expert, four-time serial entrepreneur, birthing companies from ground zero to being profitable over an extended period of time, over 30 years. The My Online Toolbox education classes have educated thousands in the industry, our industry, specifically to marketing. I'm actively consulting with hundreds of remodelers, and I write for various magazines such as Kitchen and Bath Business, which one of the topics today was just featured in the monthly edition of Kitchen and Bath Business. And this particular presentation has already been upgraded from the same presentation that I was doing at the KBIS show in Vegas, which was received really well, but now I even made it better. I see business from an owner perspective, from both concept to profitability. And I always want people to realize that I completely think of marketing as separate from technology. Too many people like to say, check out my website or check out my Facebook or whatever the topic of the day may be. I'm treating those as individual tools under the umbrella of marketing, specifically with a 1 to 5 year plan. So anything I'm teaching for you today, I'm not looking to try to change your day or week or month. I'm looking to change your quarter and years for the rest of your life with an emphasis of quality over quantity. My background is a hybrid of both residential and commercial contracting, starting from zero upwards of 20 million. So if there's anybody here bigger than 20 million, you could say that you can't be an opportunity for me because that's where I stop. Also, before we started today, I did email everybody a copy of a cheat sheet, and it's video marketing to properly capture your projects. It's in your inbox, possibly spam if I've never communicated with you before. And all I ask for in return is one thing, that putting on the webinar is an opportunity for me to connect with Pro. Sending you that cheat sheet is an opportunity to request that you go to the My Online Toolbox Facebook page, and simply from the February 22nd post is like the 100 featured projects. This I post once a week, every week, featuring the best of our clients' marketing. Not the best of their projects, but the best of their marketing. So if you're really looking to embrace where you think you're going to be for 2024 and have that residual last for many years out, please follow that post because that happens to be the best of what I do on a consistent basis. But today, we're going to be moving into the topic at hand, which is video marketing. And we begin with, before getting into the projects and the main reason why you're here, I want to introduce you to how people begin to capture their value proposition, because once they've mastered it, capturing their value proposition becomes easy when we start to capture the best of the projects. And we need to ask yourself, what makes you unique? And you have to realize that before you jump to answer that question, you have to remember from a consumer perspective, the intangibles are critical when prospects are comparing you to your competitors. And unique doesn't mean necessarily you're using the words like better, faster, or less expensive. You have to take a break to say, looking in the mirror and attempting to be a customer, what makes you unique? And when you begin to discuss that unique value proposition, because video is going to be capturing passion, you have to try to come out of your shell and ensure that you're as excited as possible when you begin to express yourself. And even if possible, hire a professional. So now what I want to do is have you be introduced to a contractor. And let's make believe you're looking for, say, a window guy. And that's the way somebody says, I need help in a window. Well, imagine this particular contractor a few years ago, desperate for business, always getting the wrong business, and quite honestly, wasn't sure whether he could afford someone like me or not. So what I'd like to do is now introduce you to the contractor, and let's go introduce you to a window guy. But now you know that you could never, ever talk to him without first seeing this video. So let's start the video presentation right now and introduce you to this gentleman of vintage window restoration, and let's go listen to his story.
Vintage Window Restoration is a family-owned business located in Albany, Oregon. We work with homeowners on their residential projects. We work with commercial. We work with government. We perform work that emphasizes in the restoration of historic wood windows, whether it's from the 1850s of the Oregon Pioneer era up to the 1940s of the American growth prior to World War II. We can manufacture reproduction windows. We can do restoration of windows. We can build storm sash and screens. There is just about nothing we cannot handle in regards to historic wood windows on those historic structures. One of the fun things about vintage window restoration that many people admire is that we use machines from the era for which windows were built. We use American tenoning machine from the 1890s. We use a crescent thickness planer from the early 1900s, an Oliver table saw, which is a collector's item, Millberries and Powermatics and Davis & Wells. These are the machines that we love to use. And reason being is that they were the equipment that built America. They were made in America. And I feel, and we feel, that it gives an authentic product that is almost indistinguishable from what was made back in the time when things were pretty well put together. Another thing that sets us apart at Vintage Window Restoration is our attention to detail, our research of the structure for the project, and listening to the needs and wants of our client. We take those three things to create a smooth operation that delivers a historically accurate product and service to ensure that we have a satisfied client and to have a building that will have many more decades of longevity. This is Vintage Window Restoration, and we look forward to working with you on your next historic preservation project.
Now, for those of you that are listening to that, I'm sure being a contractor, you would now going forward know that he's serious in what he does, and he's not just a guy coming by to give the best price and how fast he could go. But what I brought up in my topic before was trying to hire a professional if possible. There are times that it's not possible. Possibly there's a professional that's not available, or maybe somebody can't afford it. Either way, just because you can't hire a professional doesn't mean you can't create a mechanism that captures the moment to make you look unique. So now what I'd like to do, since the majority of this group is remodelers, I would like you to make believe that you're aware of another remodeler and they're very close to you. And you're also aware that there's a homeowner who's looking at you and this particular remodeler. You believe you're the best. You believe that you have the referrals and you have everything that's to your advantage. But what you don't know is this remodeler is going to make sure that the customer sees them in a very particular light, that before he talks to them, visits them, he controls the image that they're going to see. So now think about a remodeler equal to you, but his pitch is going to be slightly different, where the people have seen this video before you or his company showed up to their home. So now let's check out Daniel Mast taking pride in his work, and let's see his video.
Hi, I'm Daniel from Mast Builders, and This is the rig we will pull onto your job 99% of the time. Okay, this is the rig that when we bring it onto the job, we pretty much know what we need. We try to bring everything that we need. We've got, as you can see, all our saw horses. We've got all our bins down here with all kinds of screws, nails, glues, cleaners. On the other side, we have all the screws in the bigger bins and things that we use more regularly. Here I have a vacuum cleaner, air compressor, odds and ends for finishing cabinets. Whatever we need to paint, we can do that. And on the top here is my 8-foot workbench that comes down and assembles. On occasion, need to set that up to work. And then up here we have vacuums, our Festool miter saw. We have lots of drawers, painting supplies, all kinds of supplies here as well. We have painting supplies, we have more tools. There's 40 drawers in this trailer and they're all full. And up here we have the bigger tools, more tools, smaller tools up here. Of course, all the clamps that we use. You probably see the lights, and that when we pull in, we plug the trailer into power from the house so we can see. Then up front here we have a whole stack of drawers again. We have a microwave. We have a big air compressor when we need it. We have a cord tool rack that I'm very proud of. It keeps everything organized. Odds and ends on the floor. We have another chop saw over here, table saw, and our ladders, brooms, clamps. This trailer is our main tool. It carries all our other small tools so we can be the most efficient for the job. So if you can see this rig in your driveway doing your project, please give us a call. Check out our website for other projects that we have done and completed.
Both of these gentlemen are not actors. They were very nervous before doing their first videos, and both of them have had their lives changed to a point that now when you go to either of their websites, which is on the bottom of that document that I've sent you, everything here is real stuff going on. It's not made up. Their websites for years have been always showing now booking for, and it's always booking for 1 to 3 quarters out on a consistent basis with the messages changing. Each one of them have gotten to a point that they're able to basically pick and choose when they're going to work and who they're going to work for. And of course, it's not only video marketing. I'm just making a point that the video marketing stands in front to show the passion of who these people are that are going to go to somebody's home. But now what we want to do is start to teach you that once you believe in yourself, that you're able to capture your passion, we now want to turn it around to have you feel that you could now begin to capture the passion of your best customers. It all begins, first of all, the most common thing we hear when people don't do it is, first of all, it's an excuse, and it's just an excuse, nothing more, where people tend to feel that their customers are special or they're not going to do it. It's just the reverse. First of all, ask about marketing, ask about capturing the moment right during the sales process. You don't have to do it up front, but when you're closing, you could tell them, first of all, you're not asking for a video review. What you're asking for is the excitement to say, we would love to feature your project when we're done. Would you mind helping us out? Once people hear that their project, after spending 50 grand, 100 grand, $250,000 or whatever, is going to be featured by you, they get so excited because they can't wait to share it with all their friends and neighbors and family that they're going to be featured. So once you get them to agree to being featured, that's when you say, yeah, our video person is going to come, and don't worry about it because we're going to ask you to say whatever you want to say, but don't worry about what you say because you don't want to have them be intimidated. If you have people think too much, what's going to happen is their eyes are going to constantly be looking up, trying to think on what to say. Let them speak as freely as possible, because that's the way you capture the truth and the passion. Also, when you have a video person, and we happen to have hundreds of examples, make sure that it doesn't look like a jailhouse interview. and it's more going in, fading out, coming in from different directions, moving between the customer and the job, back to the customer in a different direction, and also try to find the vibe, the music vibe that represents your environment and who you are. I wouldn't suggest you choose a Motley Crue song, quite honestly, unless you're into it, but whatever it is, try to find something that really, and I've had people have heavy metal, believe it or not, and it was pretty comical, but try to come up with something that gives the mood. And again, if possible, hire a professional, but coordinate in advance as the project nears completion. We have seen some of the most beautiful, beautiful jobs have a scheduled video shoot, and it happens to be that the job goes, is done. They have a check off, they get their final check, and then the homeowner has a massive party. The video crew comes in on Monday morning and there's pizza on the backsplash and there's a big mess everywhere. So try your best to really coordinate. We're done, video person coming in, take it when people are excited, and then move on. And what I want to do is show another example of a remodeler called Elite Kitchen and Bath. They went through multiple permutations of marketing that all failed. They reached out to us and said, tell us what to do it correctly with no ambiguity. The first thing we said is, in addition to redoing the whole website, starting with the website like a tsunami, we're going to make sure all of the best pictures are available, nothing in between. And we're also going to have customer videos day one, no ambiguity. So now picture this being the first version of their new website, beginning with having 4 customers with their video reviews. And let's go now, just meet one of them, and let's go.
A year and a half ago, we decided to remodel and upgrade the kitchen. So we started looking for a company that did the design of it and the work. So we went over to their showroom, and they have a designer there. She designed the whole plan for the kitchen. They did everything just absolutely perfect on the place. Our kitchen is small and we're limited on the space. They were able to put cabinets in that went all the way back into the corners and utilized all that space.
We were so happy with Jerry's work and his crew that we had them do other projects in the house, and it's just amazing. It's just made our life a lot easier.
When the work was finished, it was beautiful, extremely happy with everything that they did, and we'd highly recommend them anytime.
I commended this company for doing this because it literally is a night and day representation that when you go to their site, if you went to look at these specific examples, you're going to see a site page after page after page, that is super, super crisp. But now what we want to do is I've been just talking about, showing you the videos themselves. But what happens is that when people get videos, it is so common for them to use it incorrectly. And I want to repeat that because that's probably the biggest challenge we have. The incorrect use of one of the most strategic pieces of content you have. So going forward, one thing to remember on the next project you do, it's going to take you X amount of months to get the project, possibly 6 months to even a year to do the project. You finally get that video. You have to refrain from using that video, knowing that most people, like the social people, they'll have that video on before sunset today. And all you'll do is know that there's someone like me saying, yes, they were able to get it online today, but for the rest of your life, it's never going to help benefit you other than you, a couple of friends, and maybe some customers liking it for the moment, and then it just dissipates. You want to hold it, and we're going to get into how to hold it, but do not use that video. Treat it like the ace up your sleeve when you're going to Vegas and you're going to wait to the right moment to pull it out. We're going to show you why you want to predominantly, at least strategically, use it on YouTube and Facebook, both for social sharing for friends of friends with Facebook and for SEO with YouTube. And I will say, and forgive me if I offend anybody here, but I have been saying this now for years, say no to TikTok. And let me tell you why in two different ways. First of all, I tell people, I say no to TikTok because I'm patriotic. So if you are using TikTok, please don't say you're also patriotic, because that tool is really destroying the youth of America. The version that's in China is limited to 40 minutes a day. They're very well aware of the stupidity factor of what's growing here in America on kids being there for hours upon hours at the wrong time of their educational growth. And I simply don't like it for that reason, being a parent. Putting that aside, TikTok for Business is even a worse reason to use it. Right now, you have between 84 and 86% of the user base is 34 or under. And then out of that, 94% is 24 or under. So since right now, first-time homeownership is now 37 and above, your target market's not at TikTok. And the chance of you doing a post and thinking that some kid is going to be loyal to you in 3 to 5 years when they could eventually afford a home, and then another 3 to 5 years when they have money to remodel it, is slim to none. Take your money and your effort and put it to where, at least why people hire me, to help them generate business. If you want to like likes and fakes and all this other stuff that goes on in TikTok with followers, go ahead and do it. But you better make sure you've done everything else strategically to waste your time on TikTok. Separately, reminder about that hiring a professional. If you are going to get a customer and it's a real good job, please go out of your way to find a professional, because what they're able to do with the tools they have is just night and day with the result. If you can't, then when you're having a phone, just remember quickly, if for some reason you just can't get a professional, don't hold your phone up the way I'm holding it up here when talking, because then what will happen is when it goes on to a medium such as a YouTube, 1/3 of the screen on the left and 1/3 of the screen on the right is going to be black. Make sure to turn your phone to the side in landscape mode if you're forced to use a phone, so you're taking up the full screen when you need to do it on your own as a worst case basis. But now what I want to do is get into the meat and potatoes of this. So if anybody is not paying attention and you're looking at email or anything else while I'm talking, we're going to get into something here, and this is the hardest part of this educational session. So what I want to first do is introduce you first to the video. We're going to make believe that the remodeler did a great job. They're all excited. It took months. They finally got their customer to do the video. So now what we're going to do is listen to the video and then show you how it was strategically used and what the results of that strategy is now. So let's go back to the customer video.
Working with Castile Kitchen and Bath was such an amazing, fulfilling experience. From start to finish, it really fulfilled all of our expectations, beyond our expectations. They ripped everything out, down to the studs. We have new flooring, new walls, a lot of electrical changes, a lot of plumbing, and it was a bit surprising to see this blank slate, you know, just down to the studs, and trying to envision what it was going to look like when they got everything in, and then to see it now, as I've said, it's just amazing to see the transformation. The demolition process was not difficult at all for us. They did a great job in how they set it up with the plastic confining any dust to certain areas. And at the end of the day, they were so careful and courteous about picking up debris and hauling it away. We really didn't have to have any concerns about any of that. The Castile team was wonderful. They are wonderful. Everyone we interacted with, from the Castile team to the other folks who came in to do electrical, tiling, etc., were all really good. I mean, I was impressed with the quality of the outside vendors that Castile works with. I definitely would recommend Castile Kitchen and Bath. Again, it's not that I've had a lot of experience with other companies, but the whole process and the end product speaks for itself.
Okay, So now, first of all, that is a 6-figure plus remodeling job. And picture the excitement. The customer that, they finished the job, they got paid, they made their money, they got the images, they have their video. And now somebody in social media, let's say Facebook person, whatever, Instagram person, is just dying to post it because we got to share it with the world. Well, this is the spot where every step in how you take this video is going to either be a make or break, at least on how you generate lead opportunities 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years out. So the first thing is, before that video is used anywhere, putting it anywhere online, we first need to know what is the main web page, the new web page that this video plans to go to. And right there where I'm saying the web page address, sometimes referred to as the URL when programmers are talking, when they go, Castile Construction Inc. / whatever, that is the website address, but there is a strategy. And then also, every single time you go to any web page, and most people don't know this, but any web page you go to, if you take your mouse and hover over the top on top, you're going to see a little rectangle pop up, and that's called the title tag. And the analogy of that title tag is you going to a Barnes and Noble, walking in and up and down the aisles, and you're looking for something. And the first thing you do is look at which subject matter are you looking to go to? Business, cooking, whatever. And then once you make it to that section, you start going up and down looking for the title of a book. That title tag is one of the most misunderstood and opportunistic topics that go into marketing in general. But here, what we needed to do for this account, and this is all live, by the way, it's real, like I have to repeat it, is that the webpage address that we decided the video is going to go onto is a new page being created called CastileConstructionInc.com / luxury Eugene kitchen remodel 2022. And the title tag is Luxurious Eugene Kitchen Remodel by Castile. This one page that I'm quickly going through, I could easily have a 1 to 2 hour separate presentation, hint to Sherry, about this topic, because it's a big mystery. It's not, and too many people rely on technical people, and I could show repetitively when people do this quickly, how many times they make mistakes, and how easy it is to understand whether people are doing it correctly or not. Putting that aside, we made a decision that this is the page that we are going to create. Then what we needed to do was say, okay, we visualize a new web page being created. We know a video is going to be eventually there, but there's also going to be a bunch of words, and there's going to be some images all over the place. But now what we had was something like, we're going to see it in a moment, 8 to 10 different pictures that are really beautiful. But before those pictures go on a web page, we need to rename them again for SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. So when we take a picture on the right-hand side, it's a beautiful picture. But what I care about as a marketing person is that that picture, regardless of how pretty or how not pretty it is, what I care to tell the search engines is that this is a luxury kitchen remodel with undermount sink. But for you remodelers out there, you may blink your eyes and maybe you're favoring the countertop, or maybe you're favoring the cabinets. Either way, I have to control to Google and the other search engines what I want them to know is important to me about that picture, not what we're second guessing visually. So as we go from picture to picture, each one of them had a file name. And if you ever take an image from your camera and email it to yourself, or take it from a digital camera and send it to yourself, you'll always notice that depending on the device you have, they will all have a cryptic file name. Phones always have an embedded date in the file name. A digital camera has a counter like DSC1.jpg, DSC2.jpg, but none of that matters to me. I need to make believe I understand the picture before I see the picture. Most remodelers see the picture first and then second guess whether the search engines know what it is or not. That second guessing is either helpful or harmful to your marketing efforts. So using this example on the third image, here was the ugly picture. And when that ugly picture makes it to the website, All we did was make sure that the search engines would know, yes, it's ugly, but it's before the luxurious kitchen remodel. All of this was being done repetitively. So when it's called a spider, and when the search engine comes in at 2 a.m, in 5 seconds or less, and it acts as judge, jury, executioner on the intent of what this page is, you don't want the search engine second guessing what the objective of this page is. The more you set the search engine to really know that this has something to do about a luxury kitchen remodel repetitively, the better it is for lead generation opportunities. And that even goes for the design. The same thing. The design is an image. It could be a JPEG, a PNG, whatever. And the same thing. It comes in cryptically based on the tool that created it. We renamed it to say, no, when you look at this image, yes, we see a design, but what I see from a marketing perspective is a design for luxury kitchen remodeling. So now that we have the video organized, we have the page organized, we have the content, we could go through. This is not easy. This is the hardest part. So I'm not going to belabor it, but it is the hardest, correct way to do the marketing, where we go through line by line, telling the programmer we're creating a new page. This is the title. This is what's called the meta description. Here is where all the pictures could be found, renamed correctly. You do not want to let a programmer at 11 o'clock at night deciding on how to rename your images. Trust me, I have seen some of the funniest stuff, such as kitchen remodel, kitchen refrigerator, kitchen sink, kitchen table. And now you don't sell kitchen refrigerators. You don't sell sinks. You sell remodeling. The most common thing the programmer will tell me is, Brian, you were not available. You were at the stupid trade show and the owner said it must be done by 5 o'clock tonight. The programmer doesn't have the wherewithal to tell the owner, I could technically do it by 5, but you're doing it wrong for life. Should I continue? They just don't. They're looking to appease you. They're afraid to confront the average owner. So keep that in mind. So after we had this starting point, we go through, and I'm going to go pretty quickly here, but we start to go through to say, okay, the opening paragraph is going to talk about enjoying guests. Then we're going to eventually have a video for you. We don't have the video yet because we didn't load it to YouTube, but you can continue to build the page and the video will come later. Then we continue on with the second paragraph. Then we continue on with the programmer working, but now there's a hidden trick. The programmer has agreed to what the web page is going to be. So at that point, we're able to guide you on how to load it onto YouTube correctly using a permutation. Again, using a permutation of what the titling is going to be on the website. So in this case, we're calling it a luxurious Eugene kitchen remodel for the video. We're telling YouTube that when this video is seen on YouTube, if somebody wants to learn more, where should I go? That's another tactic. Because if you don't tell them where to go, then they only go to your webpage. Your homepage, excuse me. That was my first mistake in 39 minutes. I apologize there, everybody. But it guides you. You want to guide people not to the homepage because that's where everybody goes anyway. You want to guide somebody who found this video traveling the internet to say, hey, if you're interested in this job, this particular project, when you hit click, go specifically here because we have so much more. And remember, the video already captured somebody's attention about a very specific topic. You don't want them to go to your homepage because at that moment, your homepage may confuse them with other things you do that is not on the person's mind right now. Case in point, Castile is a kitchen and bath remodeler, but at this given moment, the person is not thinking about bathroom. You don't need to introduce it until when and if the customer even cares to talk about it. So now what happens is we have a title. We also know where that video is going to be. So when we go to load it onto YouTube, and this is again live, the video title on YouTube is called Luxury Kitchen Remodeling Eugene. And then we give a very, very short description of what this means. And right there, we show the viewer, if you want to learn more, hit click. It is unbelievable how many people want to learn more and how many contractors don't allow the person to learn. So because there's no way to quickly go somewhere, they may go to your homepage or they may disconnect. But when you provide a strategic way to learn more, you'd be shocked about how many people say, oh, this looks pretty cool. Yeah, I would like to see the design. I would like to see the before. I would like to see the other pictures. But here's another thing too. YouTube makes it very easy to leverage this video in other places. So when you click on the share button, behind the share button is every which way a person, a technical person or a consumer can take that video and use. So in this particular case, we previously told the programmer that a video is coming, but we have to first load it onto YouTube. We couldn't load it onto YouTube until everybody agreed to the web page. Now that we know that, all we have to do is hit the button, and right there, YouTube provides the code that either you could pass the programmer or the programmer can get themselves. Either way, it doesn't matter. It takes either 2 seconds if you're going to do it or 1 second if they're going to do it on their own. Once they embed that video, now we actually go to the real live page at Castile. And if you look up on top, it has the web address of Castile Construction Inc. /luxury Eugene kitchen remodel 2022. And as we go through this page, every single thing, and if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see that scroll bar is pretty lengthy. That's because as we scroll down, it's a very big page. Here comes the opening paragraph that I mentioned earlier with the picture. Here comes the kitchen remodeler inviting you to take a tour, and there's the customer. As we scroll down, more and more of the story goes, and it just keeps going and going, but every single thing was 101% strategic for future lead opportunities, independent of the cosmetic appeal that you could see at any given time. Now that we have this page, everybody might say, okay, Brian, in the beginning, you were talking about social media. Good point. Now that the page is there, we could begin to talk. We already have YouTube covered. YouTube is social media, by the way, even though I'm saying videos. But now we could say, okay, how do we take this page and begin to share it on places like Facebook? The most common mistake made, yet again, with videos is they are quick to put everything onto Facebook, and it's inadvertently showing too much too soon. So what we like to do is, instead of taking the video and sharing it on Facebook, what we like to do is take a teaser, kind of like a movie trailer coming out, and saying, here is something. In this particular case, we chose not to show the video, but many times we'll show the after picture. Sometimes we show the after in the video. Sometimes we even show the after before in the video. In this particular case, all we wanted to do was show, quickly, here is what the goal was. We have a beautiful video. Click here to go see that video. And what will happen is that, oh, sorry, I went a little bit too quick, is that if you go to this particular date, the best thing is it's live, it's August 20th, you will be extremely surprised about the engagement of this particular post and how many people found it on Facebook and how they then went to the website web page in order to learn more. The reason why that's important is the more people you could get to individual pages of your website and not the homepage, is the more credibility you give to the individual topics that we're talking about. So in this particular case, we are talking about a permutation of Eugene and a permutation of kitchen remodeling, but it could have been a permutation of bathroom remodeling and so forth. And I'm going to show you the technical results in a moment. But before I do that, even though the video was used on a very specific page, the main intent, that doesn't mean that the video can't be used on other pages. So in this particular case, if you go to the Castile website at one point, you're going to see they have a testimonials page, and you're going to be shocked. That's the word I like to use, about the sheer number of videos that are on this page. But before you scroll down to look at the actual sheer volume, I always tell people, slow down, because look carefully at those titles. And if you click on any video, I really don't care which one, as you begin to scroll down and look at the sheer number of videos, you're going to see, and there's actually more that we're holding because we like to release some projects one every month or two just to keep the momentum going. You will be shocked about that they all have this strategic linking to a dedicated landing page. And the point is that we've been methodically doing the same thing over and over and over again with a strategy. Why is that important? Well, eventually there's a little thing called a consumer who's looking for a remodeler. So if you go into, and you don't have to do this now, but if you go to look for any permutation of a kitchen remodeler in Eugene, Oregon, I really don't care what permutation you come up with, it will be impossible for you not to find Castile Kitchen and Bath in many, many different ways. You might find them in the mapping. As you scroll down, you're going to find them in the organic section. And if you go to even hit the more and look at images or videos, you're going to find video after video with Castile Construction. They're everywhere. And it's the reason why it's important is some people like to learn by reading. Some people like to learn by looking at images. Some people like to learn by video. Video is the hardest to do, but it gives the biggest bang for the buck on the back end because the vast majority of remodeling videos out there are so weak in the inbound marketing that it's easy to help you generate leads by positioning it correctly. So again, when we're done, knowing that, yes, I want to entertain you at the cosmetic level, but I also want to help you generate the proper business. In this case, the target is Eugene, the city, and every permutation of kitchen remodeling. I was with them when about 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago, I do forget now, forgive me, but there was a time that you could go to type in Eugene Kitchen Remodel and every other permutation of it. You couldn't find this company. It didn't matter how you were looking. They did not pop up. Now they do pop up. And when they do pop up and somebody hits click, they see classy representation of their services, which is why they're now backlogged as long as they are. Now, this was the main topic of teaching you how to market with using your projects and using your customers. But what I'd like to do is give an added bonus here because of the people that are in this group, mostly remodelers. There's a chance a handful of you have a showroom or desire to have a showroom one day. And there's also a chance that you're heading towards branding yourself as not a remodeler who likes to give out free estimates, but a remodeler who is a design build firm who is looking to charge for your services of the design independent of the remodel. What I'd like to do is show you some real cool stuff, starting with this particular representation of show remodeling. Out of the many years I've been doing it, it happens to be the best example I have. And what's really cool, fresh off the press, that if you go back to the My Online Toolbox Facebook page to, at one point, just thank me on that February 22nd post about the featured projects, you will also see that Kitchen and Bath Business featured a story of me this month about showroom marketing. That story is based on what you're seeing live here right now in this particular example. So when Rosano said, look, we built a showroom, the problem is nobody knows it's there and people don't look to come here. Yes, we educate them we have a showroom, but they don't just seem to find us. So what we did was we took a strategic approach, just like a strategic approach for marketing of projects, we took a strategic approach for marketing of a showroom. So when you go to the name of this site is called Build It to Last by Rosano Homes and Remodelers in New York. But when you go to this page, there is no second best. I'm just letting you know, you won't, I'd be shocked if you could share one with me. And if you do, I'd be impressed. But when you come here, we made this page to be an extremely inviting place where people want to get their dreams to come true. You scroll down, you meet the owner, you meet the designer, you meet the customer, you go through in a complete walkthrough of the entire showroom and what the experience is. But just like the previous examples that I just showed you with the videos being in front of the page, what I'd like you to do is now have an appreciation of the owner helping us create a video to eventually create this page. So let's first start with the owner, and then we'll meet the designer.
Hi, I'm Dan Rosano from Rosano Homes. We're an award-winning design-build firm that focuses on custom homes and remodeling projects. At Rosano Homes, we have a team approach. We believe by harmonizing the client, the designer, and the craftsman, we strive to create environments that possess lasting beauty and are unmistakably unique. At our initial consultation meeting, you should expect to spend about an hour of your time. We will discuss our questionnaire, your design ideas, your budget, and your time parameters. Some material to have handy at the initial consultation would be a site plan survey, some existing home plans, some design ideas, inspirational photos, or anything that you think would be helpful for us to see your vision. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you, and we look forward to meeting you.
Now, let's make believe we've pulled you in, we've baited you into meeting the owner, and that whole thing was showing the greetings of a customer walking in the door. Let's now have you meet the designer.
Hi, I'm Kristen Lombard. I'm a kitchen designer here to help you achieve your dream space. After you've got your general selections made, I'll come in with the most exciting part, the 3D images of your space, so you can really get a better feel and understanding of how your selections are going to read in your particular space. We'll go into more detail about special order cabinetry, how we're going to transition old materials with new, all the little bit more detailed specifics pertaining to design that still need decisions to be made. My role in the process is also to seamlessly bring your design selections into production. What I like most about helping our clients achieve their dream space is how truly fun the design process is made here at Rosano. Our clients really seem to enjoy themselves at the stress-free environment we create here at the showroom. The beauty of our selection process is that it's all done in-house. We're not sending you all over town to make your selections on your own. We're guiding you and aiding you through the process to make it more enjoyable and in turn more productive. My personal favorite part of working with the client is when I've collected all of the data necessary, the wants, the needs, the restrictions, the dreams, and I sit down and put the puzzle together. Once I've put the puzzle together and included as many wants, needs, requests as possible, that's what makes me the most happy.
Now, what I can't show you because of the time constraints is that the customer, the owner, did a fantastic job. The designer did a job, but even the customer, his job is even better than both of theirs, showing how excited he was to be in the showroom. He was away from the distractions. He could stay focused. And it's the perfect ensemble of having every key player, including the customer, partake. Of course, this doesn't happen overnight. And of course, can you imagine, I don't know who here may or may not have a showroom, but imagine the effort it took to accumulate the content, accumulate the videos, and then they say, hey, Brian, we finally got it. How fast can you do it? And I say, if you're lucky, 2 weeks, more than likely a month. And it's not because I can't stop what I'm doing, but I can't, number one. But number two, we were waiting for the content for so long. And just like what I said earlier in the beginning, where I could easily have a 1 to 2 hour presentation about keywords and strategy of how to identify the content, it took us a moment to sit down and do it correctly. And unfortunately, due to my scheduling, I could only go so fast. But imagine having all of this stuff in your hand and then having someone realize I need to wait a month or so to do it correctly so I benefit for life and then get featured in Kitchen and Bath Business a year later. That type of strategy is something that is so difficult to have most people understand. And that strategy is something that is an ace up your sleeve, knowing the majority of your competitors won't have the patience to do it correctly. So now I've introduced showroom marketing. And I'd like to now introduce another topic about design build. Just like here in Rosano, they're not doing free estimates and they are a design build firm. They have no problem getting people, hi, when can you come over to talk to me about my kitchen? Well, when can you come over so we can talk about your kitchen? They've had no problem pulling people in when they see that page. And then, of course, it's easier to sell the design process and not have a consumer thinking that they're getting a free estimate. So now I have another account that I've worked with for a long period of time called TN Miller. This is all still live. And they broke it down and even knocked it out of the park, where they said, we want to make sure that when people think design build, that it's not just a buzzword, and they really understand the cycle of what it takes to actually get to the point of really having a true estimate. So when we land on their site, you're going to see 5 individual tabs that discuss design build. The first is consultation. The second is team approach. Then comes the actual design. Then comes the time and budget. And then to not make this home run become a grand slam is have a customer saying, yes, this whole thing about design build works for me. So let's go meet the customer and see what she has to say.
Using their system, we were always able to log in and track the progress and see how much things were costing, which makes a big difference.
They are just so interested in what our vision is, what our budget is. They're very focused on their clients.
We would have a suggestion or a change, and Jason would put together the change order so we could see before we decided yes or no whether we wanted to proceed.
They would have an idea or kind of a vision for something. Talk about that on the fly and change on the fly. That was really important for us.
It was very easy to understand. They're able to explain it in terms that a non-contractor can understand.
And right there, that is having you be able to realize too, with those 5 videos, same story. It took us a long time to put it all together, and it took us a moment to be able to put it online correctly. So in summary, with this whole presentation, I wanted to remind people to use a professional whenever possible. And if you can't, just keep your phone to the side, left to right, in landscape mode. Remember, you have a certain passion about your business that if you can't capture your own value proposition on video, how do you expect to convince your customers to do so? Use yourself as a leverage. Find an opportunity to be able to introduce your company so people see that, what's good enough for the goose is good enough for the gander too. When you go to capture that passion with the best of with your best customers, remember, let them speak freely. If something goes wrong in a project, one of the most common things we hear is, oh, the customer wanted to know, could they talk about whatever the problem may be? Use that as a moment to capture the truth. And if you fix the problem and the customer is still willing to give you a review, who cares if something went wrong? You're in construction, and the real world this is not Fantasy Island where the boss, that you came in, you showed up and everything was wonderful ever since they called you. Tell them, you know what? Actually, I would like you to talk about the problem, but if you could, please also reference how we fix the problem. Let the customer talk naturally, because that's what's going to sell in the video. No one's going to remember that something went wrong when you opened up the drywall or picked up the floor or whatever it may be. Let them speak naturally. When you finally capture the passion of these best projects, please remember to be extremely strategic and don't be in a rush to use the content. Many times it will be used wrong. Refrain from using the videos anywhere until your plan is set. And remember, YouTube and Facebook are preferred, at least for search engine optimization. We want to make sure you don't lose sight with this exciting video that the branding and the quality lead opportunities improve simultaneously. One last thing before I take any Q&A, some people may have come late. If you need the cheat sheet, or I forgot what I titled it, but whatever. There's a cheat sheet or something out there that Pro has. We could forward it to you. And all I ask for in return is a simple like of my February 22nd post, which is the best of 100 individual featured projects that we've been doing religiously over these years. Video marketing, in summary, is lethal when used correctly. Again, lethal when used correctly. Most people are going to take videos and do it incorrectly. That is a competitive advantage. My name is Brian Javelin of My Online Toolbox. I love to be called the industry's brand ambassador. I want to thank Pro and everybody else here for giving me this time to talk to you. And I actually made it with 30 seconds to spare. So I'm still around for any Q&A right now. And again, I just want to thank everybody in this group for the opportunity to talk to you. Of course, I'm available offline, but at the same time, Sherry, if there's any questions that anybody would like to ask me, I'm all game.
I did not see any questions in the chat. So if anybody has a question, you can put it now in the chat and let me know. But I do want to thank Brian so much for his time today and all of this fantastic information. Let me see. Oh, I do have a question from Matthew. Do you have a local photographer or video pro local to the Washington metro area?
That's a very good question. I was praying it didn't have to do with TikTok, so thank you, Matthew. But finding the video people is tough. And what I would tell you is that I have people that are usually regional that and I don't know them. They're not my employees. I just get to know them, and then they start being shared with other contractors. But when you don't know somebody, the first place I would go is looking for realtor photographers, because they specialize in the lighting of a home for sale. But there's a caveat. The pro is they're so used to showing the home with a certain type of movement. They're aware of the lighting. They're aware of the music. But what you have to ask them is, once they know how to do the video marketing for real estate home sales, you want to ask them if they're comfortable in doing video reviews of a consumer, because sometimes that person has never done it before. They want to do it, but they've never done it before. And having a person sitting in front of you is different than having a refrigerator and a couch that doesn't talk back. So you want to really ask them if they've done those type of reviews. And even if they haven't, guide them to one of the hundreds that are on my website of examples to use that they could emulate. And if I went to say, what's the one little secret trick that you could keep way in the back of your mind, is that a lot of times when they're recording a homeowner, they will have the homeowner dead center in the video. The problem is when we go to create the thumbnail that's going to sit, and actually I'll go really, let me see if I can go super fast to make a point here, because Castile is one that we're fixing this problem going forward. Come on, where is that darn thing? Oh, okay, no, I could even do this to make a point. If you see Dan Rosano on the left, he has the YouTube icon sitting right on his nose, and the girl has it right to the left. If you have the person sitting just another couple of feet to the left or right, when we go to post it on social media, the face won't be cut off. So that's the only trick that you can give a video person, to say, hey, just get a few moments where the person's to the side, so when they're smiling or they have their teeth showing, that when we capture that moment, that the icon gives more of their face. But the big thing to ask them is interviewing people. That would be my thing. But unfortunately, I don't have any one person who flies the whole country. And especially with the timing usually being 3 to 5 days notice, you don't want to pay somebody from Oregon who does a good job for Castile to come to you. You'll pay a fortune just in airfare. Anybody else brave enough to ask me a question, Sherry?
I don't have anything, but Matthew said, understood, great tips and presentation, Brian. Thank you.
A pleasure, Matthew. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, anyone else?
Well, Sherry, I could, since they're all there, which is great, I just want to throw something in.
Yes.
I don't want anyone to think I'm a video marketing person, because I am, but the video marketing is like icing on top of the cake, but I'm really the baker of marketing, I like to say. So everything to do with image marketing, Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, email marketing, web page marketing, every one of those tools is under the umbrella of marketing. And when I sometimes, I'm 57, so I don't know the age group here, so forgive me, but I still see myself as a very young person. But this challenge that I have with the younger generation is we get into these debates about like, which one do you like, Google Docs or Microsoft Word? And I tell them, I'm not going to debate you on which one is better, because whether I write in Google Docs, Microsoft Word, or Chalk, I'm still going to be published because I know how to write. I know how to articulate. I know my industry. The younger generation believes that their knowledge of a website implies they know marketing. Their knowledge of every tool, every button on Facebook means that they know marketing. A lot of these people have learned the tools without learning the principle. So they could get by in many individual steps, but don't always think it's a strategic step. It might be how to use the tool properly, which is independent of how to do marketing properly. So for me, when Twitter disappears or TikTok, hopefully, I don't care because I know how to market. And it's just that what's going to be the next tool of the day. So keep that in the back of your mind that a lot of times the people that you're using for advice may really be great at the technology, but not necessarily at the marketing. So just keep that in mind. And of course, reach out to me if you'd like to have a differentiator in your pocket, because that's what I do. That would be a closing topic. So people don't think I'm just a video marketing guy, because that's just a component of what I do.
Okay, thanks again, Brian. Bill also said thank you for highly useful tips and tricks. If we don't have any more questions, I did just want to remind you we have our educational networking event next Thursday at AJ Madison and Tyson's. It is a continuing education presentation on smart appliances and home automation technology. So if anybody's interested, you can let me know and I can get you registered, or you can go on to our page and through events and register. And if anybody else has any events coming up and you need to let me know, just do it now quickly. And if nothing else, we will, I guess, head off of here and have a wonderful rest of the evening.
Sherry, will I see you next week at JLC?
Actually, no, the event I just mentioned, I will be at that event, and Angela and our other Sherry will be in Rhode Island.
Well, I look forward to meeting them. And again, thank this group that stayed on the whole time. Thank you for pulling up at the last minute to help us with the switch with Angela.
My
and also
pleasure.
for anybody else listening to this when it's recorded, thank you again for the opportunity to present to you. And I hope to see you again with another marketing presentation when I'm asked.
Great. Sounds wonderful. Thank you again for your time today.
Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
Goodbye.